Years ago, back during my working career, I can remember reading a book. I think it was by Stephen Covey, and it was called The Seven Habits of Successful Businessmen, I think. Anyway, for some reason that popped into my head this morning, and I got thinking about it. And I wondered if there weren't maybe seven habits that make a successful fisherman. So after I thought about it a while and let it roll around, I came up with seven different, what I consider to be seven different habits for a successful fisherman. You hear people say it all the time. That guy's a great fisherman. He always seems to catch fish. And after fishing for a lot of years, I come to realize the difference between guys who constantly catch fish and the ones who just go fishing. It usually comes down to just a few simple habits. Not secret lures, not expensive boats, and not even fancy electronics. Just habits. Here's the seven habits that I've noticed in most successful fishermen. Number one, top of the list has got to be patience. Let's start with the obvious one. Fishing teaches patience, whether you want to learn it or not. Successful fishermen understand something that many beginners don't. Fish don't run on a schedule. They don't run on our schedule, for sure. You might fish an hour with nothing happening, and then suddenly the bite turns on. The impatient angler leaves 5 minutes before that happens. The patient angler is still there when it does. Number two, never stop learning. The best fishermen I know all have something in common. They don't consider themselves experts. They see themselves as students of fishing. Every trip teaches them something. Maybe it's water temperature, maybe it's wind direction, maybe it's what the bait fish are doing on that particular day. Fishing humbles you pretty quickly. The moment you think you've got it all figured out, the fish remind you that you haven't. Number three, they pay attention to details. Successful fishermen notice the little things: the watercolor, the cloud cover, the wind direction, birds hovering over bait. Sometimes the difference between catching fish and going home empty is a small detail. A slightly different retrieve, a lure color change, moving 20 yards further down the bank. The best fishermen are always observing. And number four, they check their equipment. This one took me years to learn. Successful fishermen take care of their gear. They check their line for nicks. They check their line for knots. They make sure their hooks are sharp. Because when that big one bites, that is the worst time to discover there's a problem. Too many fish have been lost because of something that could have been fixed in 30 seconds or less. Number five, they keep things simple. You don't need 200 lures already tied on. Successful fishermen rely on a handful of things they trust. A few proven lures, a few techniques that they know very well. They focus on how they fish more than constantly switching to the latest shiny lure. Fish don't read fishing catalogs and they don't read fishing books. Number six, they respect the water. The longer you fish, the more you understand something. The water deserves respect. Weather can change fast. Boats can break down. Things happen. Successful fishermen prepare. Life jackets, fuel in the tank, letting someone know exactly where you're going. They respect the lake, the river, or the ocean, because the water always has the final say. And number seven, they love the process. This might be the most important habit of all. Successful fishermen love fishing itself, not just catching fish. They enjoy the sunrise, the quiet, the sound of the water against the boat. Because if the only reason you fish is to catch fish, you're going to have a lot of disappointing days. But if you enjoy the whole experience, every trip is a good one. So those are the 7 habits of what I believe make a successful fisherman. Patience, always learning, paying attention to details, taking care of your equipment, keeping things simple, respecting the water, and loving the process. And if you think about it, those habits probably make you successful at a lot of things other than fishing. But that's a story for another day. Until then, tight lines. If you enjoyed this brief little story, subscribe to my channel. I got plenty more coming along. Thanks for watching.